I'm in the 2025 Lexus UX 300h. This has the F-Sport handling package and it comes in at around $47,000. Is this tiny Lexus crossover worth that chunk of change as it gets longer in the tooth? Today we'll find out. One of the biggest upgrades for the UX is under the hood. Under the hood on the Lexus UX, we have an updated powertrain here. When this vehicle launched around 2018, it had a 2-liter non-hybrid front-wheel drive, then also had a 2-liter hybrid all-wheel drive model. Now this has finally been upgraded to the 5th generation Toyota hybrid system here, and previously it had around 181 horsepower. Now this guy's packing out 196 horsepower. Now Lexus also gives you the option of front-wheel drive or all-wheel drive. Here in Florida, no surprise that they sent me one with front-wheel drive. All-wheel drive doesn't give you any more horsepower, even though it can send up to about 40 horsepower to those rear wheels.
The fake exhaust note is so ridiculous. 0 to 60 in 7.8 seconds and 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 8.25 with a 0.3% slope in going uphill.
This front end is exclusive to the F-Sport as well as the F-Sport handling. The F-Sport handling like we have here has adaptive dampers, but this lacy, the spindle grille with the mesh pattern, and down here is the only way you can get fog lights here in the United States is on the F-Sport model. So for me, this is the only one that would make sense getting an F-Sport. The base 300H and even the premium models don't even let you have fog lights. So those are off the table for me, but wait till the end because I'm gonna do a buy-in guide and compare this to the NX, the Prius, the Corolla Cross, for example, to see if this UX that's been updated is worth it at its around $40,000 to up to $47,000 price point. All right, we have paint matched wheel arches with this red line paint color, and the F-Sport logo with the white background there denotes that this is not a F-Sport performance model. It would be cool to have a hot hatch version of this vehicle, but Lexus has never made it. These wheels haven't changed since the inception of the UX F-Sport, these 18-inch wheels, and these are all run flat tires, no spare tire here on the Lexus UX. And this is a ding for me, is that the window surrounds are still bright chrome instead of a blackened or darkened chrome. It just doesn't match with the F-Sport persona in my opinion. As we come to the back, this was the first Lexus vehicle that coined the light bar in the lineup. Pretty much all the new models have the light bar now. And then UX 300H, if you have an all-wheel drive model, you would get an all-wheel drive badge back here. Parking sensors back here, and then the F-Sports also have this additional garnish, this glossy piece around the edges, and then there's a small exhaust tip down there as well. Now they have not upgraded the rear logo here. So many new Lexus models have Lexus typed out, but we might have to wait for a redesign of the UX, which should be coming in the next couple of years. Fingers crossed, we'll see. Definitely could benefit from having a redesign. So when they updated this to the 5th generation hybrid system, they got rid of the nickel metal hydride battery and they put a lithium ion battery. So that will improve performance as well as efficiency, but still cargo space on here is just so limited compared to especially the NX. This hasn't changed since the vehicle came out, this kind of foldable and stowable tonneau cover. But we have a nice automated lift gate there. Coming into the back, this seat is set up for me at 6'1", and this is hard for me to get in. I immediately hit my shoulder here. I have to duck my head a ton just to get in because this comes so low. And then getting out is also a problem, as we'll find out here in a little bit. Hard touch materials here on the back. You know, I was in a Prius Prime a couple weeks ago that costs less than this with a better powertrain, and it had similar materials here on the back. So this costs even more than that Prius Prime. The materials down here are okay, but I don't even have stitching down here on the armrest. That would have been a nice touch. No map pocket on this side. I do have a map pocket on this side. Thank God we have rear vents. That's something that the Prius did not have. I have 2 USB-Cs in the back here, but no heated outboard seats. The Prius that I was in had heated outboard seats, for example, and I don't have a panel roof, which is available in so many different models. Now, I have good headroom, surprising back here, but really it's the legroom that's really the limiting factor back here, and the accessibility to this back seat. Getting in and out is just hard. As you can see, I'm running into the wheel well here. Now the front seat with this F Sport, we have a nice skid plate here, aluminum pedals, F Sport adorned. Headrest, you can also get this in red if you want. These are heated and ventilated, nice red stitching, power seats on both sides, memory on this side. Pretty basic door panel here. Like to see some character. There's just no character here. There's no stitching. And I would expect a little bit more from Lexus here. But let's go ahead and get on the inside. We do have auto folding mirrors. I appreciate that. F Sport steering wheel looks and feels fantastic. The red stitching's well done. Paddle shifters here to go through the fake CVT gears, but the steering wheel is really, really nice here. Very fantastic. To choose your driving modes, Sport, Sport Plus, Custom, Eco, you can fly through here and adjust the suspension as well. This is a nice update here. This 12-inch screen, we typically see this in high-end Toyotas and Lexus models. This is not the base screen. So if you get the base model, this will be a 7-inch screen. This 12-inch screen, I wouldn't say it's necessarily that much better than the 7-inch model, but what is this 12-inch screen here looks great. I love how big it is. The base 8-inch screen on the F Sport non-handling, as well as the premium, that comes with the 8-inch screen. Luckily, this is optional on the premium as well as the F Sport, but in my opinion, it should be standard. It's only standard on this F Sport handling, and it's not even available at all on the base UX, which is quite unfortunate for a luxury vehicle. Even auto dimming rearview mirror is not even standard. I think you have to go to the premium model to get it and above. Now, there's no digital rearview mirror option like there was on the Prius Prime that I was in a couple weeks ago, but I like the location of the volume knob. This is very simple, but I did find a weakness to this switch display. Let's say I want these to be the same temperature. I actually have to get out of my Android Auto and go to the Lexus logo here, go to the car. Well, you see the engine just turned on to charge up the battery because I'm cranking the AC in here. I have to go to climate and then click sync. So it's just a very lengthy and frustrating process. It would be a lot easier if Lexus gave us a dedicated bar here to get straight into the vehicle features, but they don't do that on any of their models. Instead, you have to fumble through the menus here to get in anywhere. So it's not ideal in any means, but that's just a nitpick I had to call out. Shifter here, well, they don't have the touchpad anymore. When this vehicle came out, old software, old screens, you had the touchpad somewhere in here. All this has been reworked over the last few years. Heated and ventilated seats here, heated steering wheel. We do not have memory auto brake hold, but at least it's easy to get to. USBs up here, we saw USBs in the back, but if you want to wire Android Auto, it has to be through a USB-A. At least we have felt in here, and a secret compartment for maybe a stick of gum or quarters or something. Basic sunroof, like I said, no pano sunroof. And we had nice stitching here with this washi dash is what they call it. It's a material that they use over in Japan. But I'm ready to start driving the Lexus UX. So I'll keep the energy flow up for you guys so you can see how the car is responding with the powertrain due to the type of driving I do. Now there's no 360 camera here as I back up, which is definitely a miss for this price point. Now if you just want a great city car, that's kind of what this UX is aimed at. As I hear that truck go by, I do not have double paned windows here. And in fact, I just got out of a Corolla hybrid last week and I feel like I had the same or maybe even less noises coming in from cars around me. So I feel like I have less noise coming in from the sunroof compared to the Corolla last week, but I feel like this is not the luxury experience I should be getting for an entry-level Lexus. I know it's entry-level, but the Toyota like Prius, like I said, is essentially caught up and even passed it with the Prime in a lot of ways. And so this vehicle is kind of getting long in the tooth. But with this upgraded powertrain here, this is where it does do better than the Toyota counterparts, is that I have less engine sound coming in. But It's not like that by default. I have to work around the crazy software Lexus has put in here. So I'm in eco mode. I only drive this car in eco mode because even in normal mode, I have constant simulated engine noise coming in. Even if I'm just going steady state, not even accelerating, I hear an additional noise coming in that's not there when I'm in eco mode. If I'm in sport mode or sport plus mode, you have more sound coming in. Yes, it's more responsive. You have fake gears literally being trumpeted into the cabin. It's the most ridiculous thing. I can't believe they still have it. When I reviewed this about a year or two ago, they did it there, and I'm like, wait, I've never been in any car where they just obtrusively pump in fake shifts and fake engine noises. It's super bizarre because there's no shifting of gears going on. It's a ECVT. It just holds a steady RPM. And then you hear the speakers going, I'll do it again. Hopefully the cameras pick it up. I'm still in Sport Plus mode. What? And then when I use the paddle shifters, I'm expecting those speakers to be linked with those fake gears. And it's not really. It's not there because I'm doing it and I'm not getting downshift noises. It is doing fake downshifts, which is kind of cool, but only do I get those ridiculous noises when I'm accelerating. I gotta stop it. I gotta put it back into eco mode. That's what this car is designed for. Even though it's an F Sport model, it's got, adaptive dampers on here. I prefer to be in eco mode. I don't want to be bothered by the fake engine noises that ruin the luxurious experience in here. The ride quality, it's pretty good. I would say it could be better. For 18-inch wheels, you would expect a cushier ride. Even with adaptive dampers here, it's still on the firmer end, and I think it's because we have run-flat tires, taking away some of that smoothness or the absorbing capability of the tire wall. And I want to put my hand up here on the windowsill, but the windowsills are just too small. So anyways, what about the fuel economy? Well, before me hot rodding it there and listening to the fake exhaust notes, I was getting around 50 miles per gallon in town, and that's where this 5th gen is definitely an improvement over the last gen. It was hard for me to get around 40, low 40s. Now I can get around 50 miles per gallon on this updated system with the lithium-ion battery and the new motors, or should I say electric motors, to supplement this 2-liter engine up there. So yeah, the powertrain's great. It's probably one of the greatest things about this vehicle. The problem is that I can get it in a $28,000 Corolla Cross, but I won't have the same sort of sound dampening that I have here, at least in eco mode, right? Because if you take it out of eco mode, they pump in fake cabin noises. Now, I had to dodge a biker earlier. He kind of did a U-turn right in front of me, not a motorcyclist, a bicyclist, and I had to do a quick twitch with the handling, and the handling responds very, very sharply and promptly. So I was very happy with that, but yeah, just don't. It's just silly because it does handle quite well, better than you think it would. It handles probably better than the Prius that I drove last week, but who's buying this vehicle even though it has a handling package? Who's buying it for the handling? Nobody. And so while the UX has received some improvements from the original 2018 introduction, it still has a lot of the flaws that the vehicle has had the whole time, which is just, it's super small and it's very expensive for what it is. But is it worth that chunk of change for a luxury vehicle? So let's get in the office and compare to some other Toyota Lexus options in the lineup to see what's the best buy for this UX currently on the market.
And the UX is showing its age at this point in time, even though it's got the new powertrain, they've refreshed the interior, right? But it's starting to show its age. And the reason is a lot of Toyota products have caught up to it. If we look at the Corolla Cross Hybrid, has the same exact powertrain as the UX, but you can get it for the mid 30s or the low 30s even. The Prius has the same powertrain and looks a lot better than the UX. Now, looks are subjective, but I think most of you would agree that this vehicle, the Prius, is a much better looking vehicle. The problem with the Prius is that the UX is more easily available. There's only 7 Priuses, and there's 0 Prius Primes in my area. Watch my review on both the Prius and Prius Prime. They're fantastic. I'd pick both of them over the UX. The problem is that the UX is just more readily available. There's more in my area. The 2025 models are still rolling in. And yeah, so like the availability on the UX is going to be better than the Prius or the Prius Prime in most places here in the United States. But if you can get your hands on a Prius or a Prius Prime, especially in the limited trims or the XSE premium trims for the Prime, they're better cars. The Prius Prime is quieter than the UX. And the Prius has technology that the UX doesn't have, like 360 camera, panel roof, solar roof, as well as heated rear seats, if I remember. That was on the Prius Prime that I tested. That I'm almost 100% positive is not a feature here on the UX state side. And the Prius Prime, if you can find one, is around $42,000. And that's kind of where the UX would start for the decent options. I wouldn't get a base UX. Why would I not get a base UX? Well, let's look at the pricing. The base UX here, 300H starts around $37K. You can get pretty much a loaded Prius Limited for that, or the Corolla Cross Hybrid for less with the same powertrain. But also the UX 300H base is stuck with the 8-inch screen. It is not optional here in the States anyways to get a 12-inch screen until you upgrade to the F Sport design model or the premium model. So the 300H base model, I just can't recommend. It's too stripped down, and you can get far more features on less expensive Toyota models. The UX is also sandwiched at the top now. When the UX came out, the NX was still on its first generation. Now that the NX is on the second generation, it is a very, very good product. It's a little pricey, but look, the base NX here, you can get $48,000 with the Premium Plus model or in the Premium model. So it's like, I'd be taking that over a fully loaded F Sport 300H handling model, and they're similar enough in price, right? The NX 350H has a lot more power than the UX 300H, 40 more horsepower if I remember correctly, and you get similar fuel economy. Maybe not quite as good, but you have a lot better room on the NX. It's still a small package. It's easy to park, but yes, it's more usable. It's easier to get in and out of. You have more space for rear passengers, and you have more cargo space. So it's really tough to recommend the UX, even though it has the upgraded powertrain finally. Just with the Toyota offerings being so good, if you can get your hands on them, and the Lexus NX not being that much more money, but getting a much better package overall, it puts the UX in a tough space. If you can get a good deal on one, like for example, if you can get one under MSRP for an F Sport non-handling, because the handlings are just too expensive in my opinion, and the base ones still handle well enough. If you can get a base UX 300 F Sport design for around $40K, I think it's a good buy. But anything more than that, it starts getting it's just too difficult for me to recommend. But yes, look for an F Sport design if your heart is set on the UX 300H and try to get it under MSRP. And I didn't even mention how much more available the NX Hybrid is in my area compared to the UX. And it doesn't cost that much more, despite it being a more powerful, more impressive, compelling product overall. Am I crazy? Let me know down below if you think the UX is a good buy around $40,000 for the F Sport model. It's just hard for me to recommend it with the 8-inch screen, infotainment screen on such a expensive car when you can get a bigger screen on a Prius that costs less, that has the same powertrain, better efficiency, and much better looks, and has other technology that the UX just doesn't have. All right, I got to shut it down there. Thank you guys. If you enjoyed the review today, smash the like button, and stay tuned for more Toyota and Lexus news and reviews here on the channel. Have a great day and peace out.